All right, so
It was a horrible team.
Compass, the Napoli, real quick, and we'll continue, guys. So I just want to share this real quick. I have a video on my channel about Napoli and how armor works. The big thing about the Napoli is her fore-end armor belt is 60 millimeters. Now that's huge because of overmatch. Overmatch means that you need to have a caliber higher than that number times 14.3. So 14.3 times 60, you need 859 millimeters to overmatch the fore-end belt of the Napoli. I'll repeat that, 859 millimeters. Are there any ships in this game with 859 or higher millimeters? I'll answer that for you pretty quick. No.
Not
Compass,
yet.
yeah, that's a big number. So,
Yet.
huh?
Yet. Not
Yet.
yet.
Yeah. we'll get one with like the massive super gun that's got like 1,000 millimeter and go,
Yep.
boom, you know, like every 2 minutes.
1,000 millimeter gun.
Can you imagine that? And fire sap rounds. Anyway, damn, that's disgusting.
With a 2-second reload.
Yeah. So anyways, the point I'm getting at is what you do with the Napoli is you don't necessarily play it as a long-range cruiser. You can, but when you get mid to close range, you keep your bow pointed directly at the enemy. Whatever battleship wants to kill you, you keep your bow at them. Now, your side armor is no slouch either, so, you know, it comes in handy at medium to long range. You can bounce a lot of battleship shells because they will come in at a plunging angle and then they'll bounce right off. So the first thing I want to point out about Napoli, of course, is her armor scheme. The guns feel weak to you. So here's the problem with the guns. You are using, from what you're describing, you are playing the Napoli in a long-range kind of setup. These are 254s that can fire HE and AP. If you're shooting HE in this ship, you're doing it wrong. This ship devastates enemy cruisers, even battleships, at medium to close range. So you want to get on the broadside of various cruisers and use that AP to slap stuff. Now, in order to get onto that broadside, what you do is you use your fancy-smancy exhaust smoke generator. You have to do this before you're detected, though. If you're detected and you smoke, the gig is up. A radar cruiser could pop the radar. Another cruiser could pop the hydro. You get the idea. Okay? And the idea is that you pop the smoke. If you have no vision on what you want to shoot, you pop your fighter plane. Up it goes around, causing vision. Now, this is the most crucial part. You don't shoot the guns. I will say that again. You don't shoot the guns. Why? Because your guns have a penalty for firing in smoke. Let me see. Maybe that's under concealment.
It is.
Where is the stupid?
Yeah, it's under concealment.
Depths, air, assured detectability. Am I missing something? Oh, by sea. There it is. 8.8 kilometer is your penalty for shooting guns in your smoke. So if you're shooting at something that's 6 kilometers away from you, while you're trying to get on their broadside, they spot you, they react to your presence, and you die. So instead what you do is you smoke, right? You blow your inky, you get onto the side of the cruiser, you're on the side of the cruiser, that's when you fire and you unleash hell. While you're doing that, your secondaries are doing work because your secondaries reach 7.7 kilometers. Of course, you can build them out a little bit more. And those are sap secondaries. They chew into cruiser armor. So you let the smoke go. You let the secondaries work their way down whatever cruiser that you're trying to get on the broadside of. And then either at the end of your smoke or when you're on the broadside of that cruiser, then you fire your main guns and have fun. That's how you play the Napoli.
And then you have torps.
Oh, yeah. And then if you're being chased by the enemy, you just launch your LOL 13.5 kilometer torpedoes on one side, flip to the other, launch them again, just keep going back and forth, go to the corners of the map while you're being chased. They're not really going to be able to kill you that easily. And if you're quite low, you make Inky in a defensive stance there with your exhaust smoke, and you heal up as you're running away. She is a difficult ship to play because you don't play her like a typical smoke cruiser, and you don't play her like a typical farming long-range cruiser. You play her, as Hujam said, as an ambush predator. It takes a lot of work to make that happen. Okay? So it sounds like all that is great if you are lucky to be in a 1 versus 1 engagement. Now, this goes back to what you said earlier about how people said it works great in ranked, clan battles, other environments where there's fewer ships. There's fewer ships, there's fewer enemies, and yes, you don't want to take 1v2, 1v3, 1v4s anyways, but especially in this ship, you don't want to do that. Because if you're going up against a buddy that's got radar or a radar friend nearby, that ruins the plan, right? Or if there's a battleship that's just waiting for you to expose yourself when you shoot your guns, yeah. So you absolutely have to know when to use the smoke. You have to know how to use your concealment. And you have to know when to fire your guns. Which are all very advanced things. A Napoli, I always like to call, is a skill cannon. Great for players who know how to play that kind of ship and those kinds of tactics. But if you are a beginner in this game, you are going to suffer with her. Make sense?